predominant vision of outer space today is of a place that is tangible and real, and therefore explorable. That's something which only became possible in the past 60 years. Because of that tangible reality, in outer space, physics and engineering reign supreme, and drama results from the scientific fact that in space, no one can hear you scream.
You see Sputnik over the other night? See, it was beautiful. And anywhere in the world, someone could look up and see exactly what I saw.
This tangibility is a side effect of the space race,
Damn Russians are watching us right now.
and is marked by the shift from looking up
So I have no choice but to be the first.
Maybe it's not in your math at all.
to looking forward.
Truth is, we don't know what they're doing up there.
You going to space too?
No, baby. But I'm going to do what I can to help those brave men get there. Yes, I am.
It is that change from uncertainty to possibility that led to a scientific and aesthetic realism about outer space.
I don't care what anything was designed to do. I care about what it can do.
It's not a miracle. You just decided to go.
That gesture illustrates inspiration.
We never lost an American in space. We're sure as hell not going to lose one on my watch. Failure is not an option.
A moment when something abstract becomes possible. It's a gesture which is extended to watching screens where realistic images of outer space are a source of inspiration. Screens are monoliths. Take 2001: A Space Odyssey, directed by Stanley Kubrick in 1968, some 50 years ago. It is one of the most influential movies ever made. Every sci-fi film since owes something to this vision.
Keep 'em coming.
One of realism and based around a mastery of special effects which still produce wonder today. "2001 is groundbreaking, but it's not entirely original. Years earlier and made in the Soviet Union, there are these scenes from The Road to the Stars, made in 1957, and The Moon, made in 1965. Both were directed by Pavel Klushantsev, and they bear a striking resemblance to 2001: A Space Odyssey. Kubrick and Klushantsev films are the spark and the first steps of 60 years of realistic sci-fi. Which echoes into contemporary films like Interstellar or Arrival. There's a historical irony here that 2001 is lauded for its vision when in fact it's not original itself. And there's the additional irony that 2001 is a meditation on the process of seeing something alien, like The Road to the Stars, and being inspired. A fact which goes largely unacknowledged. Klushantsev advanced a Soviet-style realism which extended to a transcendent place among the stars. His films show a vision where the Soviet Revolution continues into space and captures audiences with a creatively driven community beyond Russia. Klushantsev films explain how an ideal communism, unfettered by gravity, could come to be. The Road to the Stars paints the future as something aspirational. In commemorating leaving the Earth, Klushantsev created stories which are propagandistic and subversive. These images prompted a revolution in film. The revolution of envisioning outer space ends somewhere between the visions of Klushantsev and Kubrick.
Под корой планеты образуются магматические очаги. До поверхности остается один шаг. Что же происходит дальше?
There hasn't been a substantive update to the depiction of outer space since 2001: A Space Odyssey. Frankly, Kubrick couldn't revolutionize the cinematic form as much as he could own it.
Real, too, is the ingenuity of the men responsible for the nominated special visual effects.
Ice Station Zebra, Hal Millar, and J. McMillan Johnson.
2001, A Space Odyssey, Stanley Kubrick. The winner is Stanley Kubrick. 2000.
In owning it and in possessing so much of the visuals in 2001 completely as iconic moments on screen, Kubrick is involved in advancing a vision of outer space that is groundbreaking, but in many ways isn't contrary to reality.
Welcome to voice print identification. When you see the red light go on, would you please state in the following order your destination, your nationality, and your full name?
Well, how about a little coffee? I'll agree.
This is part of what keeps 2001 forever young.
He wanted to take us places we could never have imagined, and so he imagined them for us. He is Stanley Kubrick. He died before he could witness the century he had already made famous with 2001: A Space Odyssey. Stanley wanted us to see his movies absolutely as he envisioned them. He never gave an inch on that. He dared us to have the courage of his convictions. And when we take that dare, we're transported directly to his world, and we're inside his vision. And in the whole history of movies, there's been nothing like that vision ever.
Kubrick's dare is actually to move beyond the realism he so thoroughly indulges in 2001. In terms of filmmaking, Klushantsev films are the bone, and Kubrick's films are the spaceship. The same, different only in sophistication. These are tough concepts to grapple with here. More specifically, 2001 is about arriving at creative breakthroughs by abstraction from an experience on a screen. 2001, much like The Road to the Stars and the Moon before it, is filled with screens. People looking at screens, people looking at things that look like screens, and so on. It takes this into a sort of cascade of screens within screens, presumably with more screens within those screens. It sort of mirrors this cosmic alignment of the planets and the monolith. There's the disk of the Earth and the disks of the Sun and the Moon, eventually going up to a point that is Jupiter, and that further aligns with the crest of the Australopithecus's head implied in front of the monolith and extensively with the audience's heads in front of a screen which is like a monolith. This is a process, experiencing and abstracting, which Kubrick sort of takes as generative of all reality. What more could there be than our extendable experience of what there is? 2001 is perhaps the most profound metaphysical argument committed to film as it approaches ontological questions from an epistemic perspective.
I don't suppose you have any idea what the damn thing is, huh?
Wish the hell we did. No, the only thing we're sure of is it was buried 4 million years ago.
And in that way, 2001 is ostensibly a film about everything.